Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. I want to actually talk a little bit about the project you and me are also working on.
Yeah.
In a very brief way, we won't even break it down too much. But you've recorded meditations for Level Supermind.
Right.
And we were just talking about how outside, when we are recording meditations, you do put your spiritual force into it.
Yes.
I would argue that it is almost slightly physically draining while you're recording it. I don't know if you had the same experience.
Slightly, yes.
Because you're kind of leaving it for a permanent purpose that it should heal people 30 years from now also. So for that 15, 20 minutes that you're recording the meditation, you're really putting your life force in. Two questions. One, did you feel that bit of power exchange? And the second is, when we talk about using spiritual force to create something artistic, where is it originating from? Yourself? Or is it passing through you and then the passing through is the tiring phenomenon?
So initially, I enjoy the concept of the project, and I hope that it is really helpful to people. They can use it for wherever meditations, and so create something so powerful and so permanent that it is not dependent on the individual. So the energy has to go on, and it will benefit it. There will be people who are coming later, they'll use it, they may have great experiences, they may reach a stage much higher than you and I can ever reach. Anything is possible, right? So all that way is very good, yes. But whenever I don't know about other people, when I am having a conversation or trying to this kind of conversations, spiritual conversations, so there is always a bit of an energy drain that happens. That has to be somewhere, it has to take in from some source that is there, which is okay. Then again, that's why my practices replenish that energy every day when I sit.
Yeah, the listener perspective for Rajarshi Nandi is that you're a very gripping speaker. Now,
Okay.
if we truly reverse engineer that phrase, that why is this human being a gripping speaker? I think you use the right words at the right time and you use the right amount of silence at the right time. And that actually helps people listen in more closely. I'm also trying to develop that with age. But then with someone like you who's so connected to their deity, I'd argue that the deity is governing your speech.
To an extent, yes. There is something. So, like yesterday, I was talking. If you ask me to speak on Bhairava for 5 minutes, say, right now, I can tell you some things. 1 hour later, you ask me, I can tell you that, but it will never be exact repetition of the same because it's not scripted. As I keep speaking, there are things that pop in the head, and it's very difficult to explain. These things happen in the blink of an eye, faster than the blink of an eye. And I see things as images and certain things, and I know that, okay, this is an idea that links here, and this is how it must come out. What is the right word? If my energy level is high, even the phrase will come in for Taksay, and I can just, my job is to deliver it and then not bother about it. For that, the tuning has to be correct, the energy level has to be high. Coffee is very useful. And if my practice, or generally that day my energy is well connected, that is why. So I can deliver every time I say on Bhairava, the information wise it will not be too different, but there is the subconscious power that comes in, which is going to be different every time.
Subconscious power makes it different.
Yes.
I've always wanted to ask you this as a bro and not as a podcast guest, that all this information that you have in your head, I've asked you this before also, and you've answered by saying that you've read the work of Sri Aurobindo. And then we've had that whole tangent.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that you know about. I know you began in engineering college and I know you weren't in an IIT. So you were a good student, obviously, but you weren't the best student or anything like that. So you're not like someone with a photographic memory, at least I would argue. Like, my point of saying all this is, academically speaking, you're definitely smart, but you're not in that
Absolutely not.
top rung. So how do you have this ability to remember so much now at age
43.
43? Has it developed with time? Is it an outcome of you remembering everything you're reading? Or is it again the deity kind of acting through you?
No, it's so deity chooses the right vessel. So I do, it's not like I don't remember. If I enjoy something, I'll remember that. If I've read it, so I have it's not a photographic memory or anything, but the gist of it remains with me and for a long time. remembering is not the thing. What I feel that the blessing that comes is that suppose I'm speaking of a particular topic and I am so speaking for me is not just speaking. It's like for lack of better words, it's you have to focus, you have to concentrate. It's like a meditation in a way. So right moment, something or the other pops up that you had read that book many years ago and that paragraph and there was this story. The meaning of this story is I am also understanding at the time. This is how it links. And that is how it comes. And it happens very fast. It happens organically. I can't replicate it again. This is what just naturally happens. If I am in the right mood and if my energy is correct and if I have a receptive audience, that is very important, by the way. It's extremely important for me. So
you bounce off the energy.
Yeah. I don't speak. So if somebody is in front of me, I know that from the body language, you don't have to speak. I know that is not tuned to accept spiritual realities, or there is something about the individual which doesn't gel with me, for lack of better words. With due respect, then I'll completely avoid any spiritual conversation.
Fair.
I'll speak of the weather, there's that game and everything. I'll consciously avoid. These conversations should be in an environment where there is a certain degree of receptivity. And that is how it works best, in my opinion.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.